Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the Friedman Adventures Morning Briefing. I've got to tell you, it's before daybreak here and it is windy, breezy down here. I know you're going to hear a little bit of that. I apologize for it, but that's what we have in the local environment. The good news, however, is that on the horizon I see flat calm seas and a lack of wind, so maybe this is the last of it. Let's keep our fingers crossed about that. I've got a lot to go over on the morning briefing with you, including a Cabo update. We've also got some sea bass at Catalina Island, U.S. water bluefin tuna, and so much more. But first of all, I want to mention a family. Mickey Salinas and his lovely family met me yesterday at Big Fish Bait and Tackle and brought copious amounts of clothing and books in English and so much more for the kids and the people of Baja California that you all, and Mickey in this case, help us to bring down south of the border to some people who really need your help. In the past year, we've brought thousands of dollars worth of food and clothing and sporting equipment, all thanks to you. Many times we'll do a raffle to help support that. We warehouse all this stuff. In fact, I'm going to take all the clothes that Mickey gave me yesterday, and I'm on my way right after the morning briefing to go out to Accurate Staging and warehouse thousands of pieces of clothing and soccer uniforms and sporting equipment that we're saving up for a really special Christmas for kids down south of the border, and adults also. So thank you so much, Mickey and family. Thank you all who continue to help us take all of these great items down to Baja. It really makes a difference, and it just proves what great people Americans are, what great people outdoorsmen are. Generous, wonderful, giving people. I couldn't be prouder of the Friedman Adventures family, no question about it. All right, let's talk about Cabo San Lucas. Rudy Morgan, Captain Rudy Morgan, son of Sean Morgan, who ran boats in this neck of the woods for many, many years, was up at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. I talked to him and he said, down in Cabo, it is incredible right now. Really good striped marlin fishing and a little bit of yellowfin tuna starting to get in there. It had previously been pretty dead down there, very, very slow, but it is starting to pick up in a hurry. You know, Rudy, this is a few months ago, but he was out in an inflatable goofing around and caught a really nice marlin. Incredible stuff down there. And Rudy, all the time out there fooling around in this inflatable and catching some spectacular fish. I'm glad he provided us with some of that footage so we could see it. Really, really great stuff, interesting stuff. Albacore, well, we had that sighting on the 43, came from a very good source of mine. There's a lot of boats out there, so hopefully somebody will come up with something. I'm not telling you that was a 100% deal. I mean, I don't know the guy who saw the fish, so he may have misidentified. I don't know his level of expertise. It's a rumor at this point, but there's a lot of feed on the beach. The water temperatures are perfect, and we'll have an albacore forecast update this week. I promise you, waiting for some information from some commercial boats that are zigging and zagging on Point Conception right now, and we'll have more and more as time goes by. But we are watching that very closely for you and trying to take our best guess as to whether or not we're going to have an albacore season or not. Bluefin tuna bite down there off Ensenada and San Diego. Those bluefin continue to push across the border. They are on a similar path, if not an exact path, as they were last year. Starting down there off the Baja coast and then moving out now towards San Clemente Island and ultimately on the Tanner Bank. It certainly gives us some options on our Amigo trip, leaving a 2-day trip on June the 15th. We've got sea bass, yellowtail, bluefin tuna, a lot of options, and I'm so thrilled about it. How about that Thunderbird with Dave Maestro out of Davies Lock at Newport Beach with 39 nice bluefin tuna. I'll tell you that Jeff Marklin on the Thunderbird just pulls it off over and over and over again. Not only is he a great entertainer, but he is a capable captain, and he will not stop at anything to put you in fish. In this case, nice whack on the BFT. Great job, David Maestro. And David, who was on that trip and had 3 of those bluefin tuna, will be on our live show Tuesday night at 7 p.m. from 22nd Street Landing. You can ask him any question at all. He was just there. He saw what's going on. He knows what's effective. He can tell you how to get rigged up properly, how to catch more fish. He's a great guy, and I can't wait to have him on. So that was certainly good news. Mark Magaro was out recently with his lovely daughter, Jaden, and they got bounced around. They were in a 6-pack, really got bounced around in that tough weather. He said he even dropped down a 400-gram knife jig, and as he looked at it, it looked like he was trolling. That's how bad the currents and winds and everything were a day ago, and Mark really struggled. They came up with no fish, raved about the 6-pack and the crew, but it was a tough day. Now, once again, there's some good whacks being caught, taking place for the sport boat stand in San Diego, and there are also some misses. Part of it is the weather, and I'm going to say was the weather here. When we get another day or so into this, we're going to have some flat calm weather, and it's about time. We need it. And once again, let me give you a few scores. San Diego on a one-day trip, leaving at 6 a.m. in the morning. They had 6 bluefin, 5 yellowtail. A lot of that fish is big, so remember, bury your tackle. You need some 30 or 40-pound fluorocarbon. We like OpsonUSA.com. Put in FA at checkout, and you'll get a free gift as well as a handwritten letter from Greg Brown. But we like fluorocarbon. You want to have that 30, 40-pound, not for a 200-pound bluefin tuna, but for a kelp patty. If you roll up on it and you start catching 5 to 15-pound yellowtail, it's a great thing to have on your site. Some smaller hooks also, and then you want to have some heavy stuff. 40 to 50-pound outfit, and you gotta have that 100-pound outfit. I guess you could say 60 to 100. 60 to me is a little light. 80, you can get away with that. 100-pound, now you're talking, because you're hooking these trophy fish. You've spent all this money. You've invested this time. Be tackled up properly. Talk to the crew. Make sure that you get their advice on scene, because things are really fluid. They change all the time, and you're definitely going to want to make sure that you are tackled up properly. Producer, 29 guys, 5 bluefin tuna. Grande, 28 guys with 25 bluefin tuna. Legend, 21 guys on a 3-day trip, 67 bluefin tuna. So the scores are varying. Now, the good news is that the fish are really close to Point Loma. They're right there now. The bad news is that the fish are really close to Point Loma. They're right there now. And by that, I mean anything that floats can get on it. Some of this rough weather will keep some of it up, but now we're going to go into a flat, calm scenario. Sometimes in the mind of sport boat guys, they like that fish to be, you know, on Tanner Bank, where it's more difficult to get to and cuts down on the boat pressure. We'll see how this plays out. I'm thinking with this nicer weather on the horizon, like Wednesday through the weekend looks great. It looks like it's going to really lay down and get nice, and that is all super fantastic news. All right, let me talk Catalina. I got to talk the Pursuit the other day with a nice whack on the white sea bass, 9 white sea bass, and they weren't dinks. They were nice fish, as you can see. There's been improving conditions at Cat. We've been waiting for the powder keg to explode, and we got a mini explosion. Pretty darn good explosion, if you ask me, on board the Pursuit out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. But other guys are starting to see a lot of bigger bonita bounce around there. There's been yellowtail around there. The calico bass are starting to cooperate. And now we go into a scenario where we get some really nice weather. We should continue to see that water temperature warm up, and everything is looking great, if you ask me, at Catalina Island. So fingers crossed. Still slow for some guys over there, okay? I mean, it's not like it's totally on track, but these little mini explosions happen in the springtime, and then we go backwards when we get poor weather. Now with a nice weather forecast, I got my fingers crossed that they're gonna keep whacking away at it. Same thing, San Clemente Island, it's been so breezy out there. Few yellows, few sea bass, lots of rockfish in most cases, but for exotics, it's been tough. But that's an island that's gonna go off also with some nice weather. So Wednesday through the weekend, and hopefully beyond that, we're gonna see that take off. Santa Barbara, San Nicolas Island, windy, too rough, but it's gonna calm down, and guys are gonna start catching halibut out there and sea bass and maybe yellowtail. It's all we need here. We need this wind, which we have here, you know, at 5:30 in the morning. Too much of it here this morning. Wind has got to get out of the equation. If it does that, I think we've got a really good chance. And same thing up there in the Channel Islands. Look out Thursday afternoon through the weekend. Some gorgeous weather even before that on the local scene. So boats like the half-day boat California out of Ventura Sport Fishing and the Island Spirit, 805 676-3474. Say hi to Saul there at Ventura Sport Fishing for me. He's answering the phones all the time. But they're going to get a break starting Tuesday, and then Thursday afternoon beyond. Look out for sea bass and halibut, and who knows what else they are going to be catching this weekend in the Channel Islands. All indications are every time we get a weather break up there, it gets really, really, really good. All right, let's talk the coast, and we'll start down in Ensenada, where there's more calicos being taken and some legal barracuda moving up. We see around La Jolla a few more barracuda, calico bass fishing good, a lot of shorts, but starting to get better and better and better. A few yellows zooming around there, and sea bass. Also, we have some guys that focus on white sea bass along the coast, specialized guys fishing mackerel, catching some giant sea bass. That also looks very interesting to me right now. Moving up here into like the Huntington area and the San Pedro area, Redondo, really good signs and signals. The water temps are coming up. We're going to have some nice weather here in terms of ocean surface. It's not going to be rough, it's going to be nice. And even though we have this breeze this morning, that's going to get out of here entirely as we move along. Captain Dave Dodge was out with Captain Larry Moore yesterday on a private boat, and Dave said, man, conditions were beautiful, and he said that Larry did a great job getting them anchored up on a great spot. They caught and released over 60 bass, and Dave had one nice big 7.8 pound sand bass. How can you beat that? Redondo special yesterday. Great guy, Marcus Fain. I mean, love the guy. He's such a super human being, great fisherman. And Marcus said on the leadhead and squid, a little bit heavier leadhead when they're fishing the structure down deep, some nice big sand bass and calico bass, but also a lighter leadhead was working really, really well on the calico bass. Leadhead and squid really, really doing the trick, and that was the same thing for Dave Dodge. So those improving conditions, not only have the bass biting, but I've been shooting my mouth off about a barracuda bite. This seems to me like it could be the weekend where the gar finally show up and we see some bird schools of barracuda and guys are chucking their iron at it. Keep your fingers crossed on that one, as we'll continue to watch that very, very closely for you all. So many people are getting schooled, wiped out on those tuna down in San Diego. So I need to emphasize that you need heavy tackle. And we've got so many tutorials, including the best damn sinker rig you can fish with down there in San Diego. Your deckhands on board whatever sport boat will inevitably know this, but it's good for you to learn also. It's an easy rig to tie up. Go back into our archives and check that out. Sam De La Torre down there at Island Fishing Tackle in the beautiful city of Carson, California, did a great job organizing your jig. Sam did a great job on that one also. So check those out, learn a little bit more about how you can be better prepared, how you can switch jigs rapidly, and fishing heavy tackle. Being prepared is so really important to your success. Now, the albacore situation, I know a lot of you think that I'm crazy and I predict albacore every single year. Hell, I was in China for 3 years. I predicted albie last year and we caught one, but I predicted way more than that. Let's be honest about it. And to be perfectly candid with you, we don't know a whole lot about the migration of albacore. Some of it is just not based in science. So we're kind of taking a dart and throwing it. However, we do see some signals that it could be the year, and fingers are crossed on that. That would get even more people involved in sport fishing, and that, after all, is the name of the game. Getting more people out to enjoy this wonderful sport. All you have to do is go back and listen to Bill Wilkerson on the Malahini the other day. I mean, fishing, I guess, at the end of it all is about catching a fish. But Bill points out how important fishing is to children and family and getting together. And that, to me, is perhaps the most important thing. All right, we still have charters, a lot of them. If you want me to send you that list, just send me a text, 657-227 6459, and I'll send you our list. Love to see you on one of our trips, although they are selling out fast. 3 trips on the Malahini this year. There's a link up. When I send you the list, you'll be able to click on the link and go to their website and book with them. Book directly with the Malahini. All of the trips you'll book with me. Once again, Mickey Salinas and all of you who have contributed to help us take so many items down to Cabo San Lucas, Rosarito, Ensenada, Tecate, Tijuana, all those places in Mexico who truly need your help. Show me how really kind, altruistic, and wonderful you truly are. There is some really good surf fishing going on. And as I look out here this morning with regard to surf, there's some pelicans hitting the water way up the beach here. I can see a lot of activity with birds on the beach. Hard to tell exactly what it is. There has definitely been a lack of birds here this year, and we are missing our spot fin croaker bite. About 6 weeks ago, we had a flash of spot fin croaker, but we haven't seen all that much, so things are delayed. Water temperatures are cooler, and that bodes well for albacore, but things are kind of delayed here on the beach in terms of surf fishing. Having said that, there still remains quite a bit of corvina up and down the beaches here. You can stock those. You want to fish lighter monofilament. That is a definite great way to take those things. A little trout rod, you can do that with a split shot and a small hook and a piece of mussel or a sand crab or a sandworm. They all work really good. Don't forget, right down the street here, Big Fish Bait and Tackle right on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all your surf fishing needs there. You can stop in there, and if I were you, I would head down to Bolsa Chica. Better fishing for yellowfin croaker right now. There's been a few spot fin croaker down there, and halibut are becoming more and more active, like a Lucky Craft lure for those, or a piece of grunion. However, it's still closed season right now, observation only. Not that there's a grunion run here right now, but it's observation only all through June. I have a bunch of frozen grunion. You should do that when you're able to finally catch some grunion, save some, and save them for when you get an opportunity like right now. All right, everybody, it is always great to be with you all. So much going on. Live show Tuesday night, David Maestro. Can't wait to do that. You'll be able to ask him any question at all. He was just on the bite, and he knows so much about not only the current bite, but so much about tackle and technique. You're gonna love it. 7 p.m. And of course, we'll be keeping you up to date with so much more. Thank you. Over 10,000 hours of content consumed by you this past 28 days. I really can't thank you enough for how we are growing. If you could give us a like and share this with a friend, I would truly appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great morning, and I will see you soon again.